Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, in disguise as ETCG1 on this channel, and on this channel we start our videos with, if it is your birthday, I want to wish you a very special happy birthday. Now, in today's agenda is something of a dilemma that I've been rolling around in my brain for, well, ever since I got my dad's truck, which I will continue to call it that, 1990 Chevy C1500. No, it is not the big block. It is not the, well, it is a Sport, but it is not the big block 454. It has a 350 and right now I believe 350 automatic behind it. No, it's not a 350 automatic, it's electronic. Honestly, I don't know exactly what automatic transmission is in here, but I know that somebody swapped out the manual transmission for an automatic transmission that leaks constantly. In fact, the nickname for Dad's truck is Puddles. What am I going to do with this truck? I absolutely love the truck. However, I feel like, and I did an introductory video, I'll link that down in the description for you. I've always felt it to be underpowered. And I think one of the biggest parts of that is that I've got an automatic transmission where a manual transmission should be. I don't know what the gear ratios or anything are. I'm sure when they set this up from the factory with the factory manual transmission, it was geared quite differently and probably acted quite differently. But it feels like a pretty anemic 350 that's in there. But here's the dilemma. I was setting out to get a truck. In fact, before I bought the Fairmont, a little fun fact here, I was looking for a new project vehicle for ETCG. And one of the things on my list was a diesel truck. Yes, that's right. I wanted to do diesel stuff and I wanted to do truck stuff. And I thought that would be awesome for the channel. Well, somewhere along the line in that decision-making process, two things happened. First, I found out that diesel trucks, even the ones that are kind of beat up, are pretty pricey. And the ones that are beat up still require a lot of work. And I didn't know how much work I wanted to get into with that. Then Dad told me that he was going to give me his truck after he retired. He was going to give his boat that he used to haul with this truck to my brother, and everybody was happy. Well, yeah, I was really excited about getting the truck. You know, I thought, well, I'd now have a shop truck. But this truck, for me, is just too darn pretty to make into a quote-unquote shop truck. I'm not saying I won't use it as a truck, but man, I mean, she's a looker. And Dad hit a deer, so the front is all been redone recently. And the body work was done. It didn't hurt any of the frame. It just replaced all the plastic and the stuff up front, new headlights, new grille. It looks really, really good. So I've got a good head start in that department. And this is one of the vehicles, unlike, well, I can't really say unlike a lot of the vehicles because the Fairmont has a very solid body. This truck does also. So I'm struggling because I originally needed a truck that I wanted to haul things around in, such as the Fairmont and all of my junk parts when I go to the scrapyard, that kind of stuff. I wanted something that could haul a car trailer. So I could haul the Fairmont around from place to place. Not that I wouldn't want to drive it. It just would be nice to have the ability to also go out and get vehicles either through Craigslist or auction or whatever, things that aren't licensed to me that I could purchase on the spot and haul back to the shop so that I could work on them. It would be really great to have a truck that could do that. Now, I'm not saying the truck can't do that in its current form. It was hauling a boat that I think was, you know, was definitely over a couple thousand pounds. But I'm talking about hauling a trailer and a car and possibly other trucks, stuff like that. So I might need a little more in the power department in order to make it into something that could haul stuff around. But then we get back to, once again, it's a pretty truck. And do I want to use it that way? And this is the dilemma. We're getting to the crux of it here. So do I build my dad's truck to be something to haul stuff around, be like a work truck kind of thing, a shop truck? Or do I build it as the truck that I think it always can be, that it always could be, I should say? And that is sort of a hot rod truck. I mean, it's already black and beautiful, and it's a sweet looking truck to start with. And I don't think it would take much to wake the engine up. I was actually talking to John Hennessy at Barrett-Jackson when I was there and telling him about the truck, which he really liked. And he said, well, put an LS7 in it. It's John Hennessy, what's he gonna say? But not that I'm opposed to that idea, but Dad took great care of this truck. There is nothing wrong with that engine. I believe it was originally a North Carolina truck, so it came from the south and it came up north, and the minute the guy that owned it saw Western New York winters, he's like, there's no way I'm driving this in the winter, and it never saw another Western New York winter again. If it had, it would not be in the shape that it's in today. So it's had some very good caretaking up to this point, and I want to do it justice. That's the thing. That's where I'm struggling with the whole turning it into a workhorse kind of deal. It is a bird in hand, so you know, there's nothing that I'm out of pocket for the truck, which I'm really grateful to Dad for giving it to me. So there's that aspect of it. I mean, it's a truck that I didn't expect, but is it a truck that I can use like I want to use a truck for the shop, or do I make it into something quote unquote cool? What I was thinking is not going crazy like I did with a Fairmont. I think I've learned my lesson with that. I mean, it'll be a little more conservative with the builds going forward. And I think we can do little things at a time so that it's not taken out of commission and we don't get a chance to like test the results of the changes that we make. But what I thought would be easy is to take the rear axle and instead of being below the leaf spring, put it on top of the leaf spring, and that lowers it down automatically. And then getting drop spindles for the front. And what drop spindles do is they take the location of, okay, so you've got the upper and lower suspension attached to the knuckle and the spindle that comes off of that. Well, drop spindles can actually drop for, you know, I think they make them like 2-inch drops or different increments. And they take that attachment where the wheel attaches and they move it up, which in essence lowers the truck. So in other words, it would be pretty quick and dirty to lower it. I thought about airbags, but I talked to some people in the know. In fact, Stacy David comes to mind, like right off the top of my head. I talked to him at SEMA last year and was talking to him about the truck. And he said that, you know, as far as airbags go, they can be somewhat problematic in that they may cause clearance issues with some of the frame components, things like that. You don't want airbags rubbing up against metal parts. Now, certainly cool factor, but wicked expensive. To me, it seems much more reasonable just to swap the axle on top of the leaf springs and put some drop spindles on it and boom, I'm done. Literally done with lowering the truck. And that's where it is. Next, as far as the engine goes, like I said, LS7 would be nice, but I think those go for around 15 grand. Okay. But Kevin Frischi, my main machinist slash engine builder, and his son Justin up in Wapakoneta, Ohio, he happens to be an expert in small block Chevys. I mean, he's built tons of them for circle track and all kinds of racing. He knows a 350 Chevy like nobody's business. I could put that thing in his hands. He could wave his magic machinist wand and bam, I'd have one killer engine, you know, and that I know that they could make for me without a doubt. I know they could turn it into one really great engine. I thought in the meantime, okay, Dad gave me the manual transmission that the truck originally came with. The guy that swapped it out apparently kept it and everything that goes with it. And Dad was here recently. It's May 2017. He usually comes down and sees me in April. When he came down, I was talking to him about it and about that manual transmission, because what I thought I'd do is I would just take that manual transmission, swap out the automatic just to have something done to the truck. Manual, automatic to manual swap. Real easy. I've got all the parts and everything. I'm not really going to be out of pocket anything more than time, and I think that would make great video. Thing is, when I was talking to Dad, he says, yeah, he thought that there was some kind of gear noise or bearing noise inside the transmission. So that kind of gives me a little bit of pause. Like, should I go for that and put that transmission in, or should I do something else? Sort of leaves me scratching my head. I mean, really all I'd be out is time, as I said, as far as swapping it over. But if I swap it over and the transmission is making noise and it's not a very good transmission, I kind of, well, I don't want to say wasted a whole bunch of time, but it's kind of like wasting a whole bunch of time. After I first got the truck, I took a picture of the manual transmission it originally came with, and I sent it to Paul Cangialosi, who's my manual transmission expert. And he says, maybe that's not the best transmission, namely because it's not very serviceable and there's not a whole lot of parts out there for it. It's not really a transmission that people use in performance applications. And actually what he did is he recommended a TKO 600, similar to what I'm putting in the Fairmont. That sort of leaves me in a spot to where, okay, I thought originally what I could do, swap that manual transmission out and just drive it as a manual instead of an automatic and see if my suspicions of the gear ratios and things being different, if that was going to come in and play a part. So that's my thinking. You know, a decent build on the engine and all that kind of stuff, drop it down. But, you know, once the truck is lowered, and once it's turned into a performance truck, it's really not set up for hauling stuff anymore, especially if I go with a manual transmission over an automatic. Automatics are way better at hauling stuff than the manual transmissions are. Not to say that manual transmissions can't haul stuff. I even had a 1986 Kenworth in here, a heavy hauler, something designed to haul big, heavy loads. So big diesel truck, okay, designed to haul big, heavy things, has an automatic transmission. Why? Because they're stronger. And the shifting is smoother, so the transitions, you know, going through the load and all that kind of stuff are all different. So if I've got a manual in here and I've turned this thing into a sport truck, it's not really a truck for hauling stuff anymore. It's a truck for having fun with. which means I'm still on the lookout for an older diesel truck that I could use for a shop truck and also to haul things around, like maybe this truck. All these vehicles, Eric, you got 10 of them. What are you doing? And aside from that, why don't you finish your frickin' project first before you start on another project? Well, yes, I am doing that. All that aside, we're talking about the truck. Like, what direction? Hot rod truck or work truck? And when I say work truck, I mean, I'm not going to be hauling things around all the time, but it'd be nice to get like a trailer that I could hitch up to it and use it to drive around. And if I was going to go that route, I might just leave it just like it is now, find a better automatic transmission, perhaps one with a 5-speed, you know, just something with a highway gear in it so that if I'm traveling a great distance, I can save a little bit on fuel. But a decent automatic transmission and, you know, see what I can do from there. I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of a quandary thinking about it. So I thought I'd kick it out to you, the group, let you know a little bit about what's going on in my head and see what you had to think about it, because I'm sure you're going to tell me down in those comments. Yep. I'm sure you might have already started typing before you even watched the video, didn't you? Oh well. Anyway, if you have automotive questions, I ask you head over to eric@thecarguy.com. I'll also put links in the description to additional videos and information, also the video that more completely goes over the truck, so check there for additional information. Aside from that, I close my videos with be safe, have fun, stay dirty. I want to thank you very much for watching, and once again, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. You got one at the end this time too. Your lucky day.